It has been a long time since I've said good morning, Senator Bernie Sanders. Welcome.
Great to be with you, Stephanie. How are you?
Not since you cheated on me all the time with Tom Hartman have we spoken, and I am thrilled to say hello again. So, you've obviously been out there talking about how very critical this election is. Um, it is just hard to imagine we would be at this place as distraught as we all were 2 years ago. I mean, the level of violence of uh, I don't even know how to racism, anti-Semitism we're seeing just again over this weekend, Senator, shows us how critical tomorrow is. Correct?
Yes, Stephanie, that's exactly right. I don't want to be overly dramatic, but I believe that this is the most important midterm election, certainly in the modern history of this country. And it's, as you indicate, not just about whether we throw millions of people off of the health care that they have, whether we give tax breaks to billionaires, whether we ignore the reality of climate change. It gets to the root of who we are as a people, and whether we follow the lead of a president of the United States who in an unprecedented way is trying to divide us up by our religion, by the color of our skin, about where we come from, about our sexual orientation. And that's what this campaign is all about.
Well, obviously, health care a huge issue. You tweeted the Republican agenda is clear. One, take health care away from 32 million Americans. Number two, give huge tax cuts to billionaires, large profitable corporations. Three, slash Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Four, allow the planet to be destroyed. The stakes couldn't be much higher. I mean, when you say vote as if your life depends on it, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we had above and beyond the disgusting divisiveness and the racism and the sexism and the homophobia, above and beyond all of that. You're familiar with the recent Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report that came out a few weeks ago. And what these people, the world's leading experts on climate, said, we have all of 12 years, not a long time, to significantly reduce carbon emissions into the atmosphere, or else the planet that we're going to be leaving our kids and our grandchildren will become increasingly unhealthy and uninhabitable. 12 years, and we got a moron. Yeah. We got a guy in the White House who not only doesn't believe in climate change, is working with the fossil fuel industry to increase carbon emissions.
Did you just say moron, sir? Did you just say moron? Because if you did, I love you even more.
No, that's bad. No, I didn't.
Let me, Rex Tillerson corrects you.
I have the utmost respect for somebody in the White House that doesn't believe in science. The kind of leadership we need in this country.
One of the issues you speak so strongly on and so well on, you tweeted, this is how stark the difference is. Donald Trump and his advisors believe in huge tax breaks for billionaires, but when it comes to raising wages for workers, they actually want to abolish the minimum wage. And you also had a helpful statistic, Senator. You tweeted a worker making the federal minimum wage needs to work 99 hours, 52 weeks a year just to afford a modest one-bedroom apartment. That is a national disgrace. And
look,
you're
here's what's
right.
going on. All over the world, in most countries around the world, economies are rebounding from the 2008 Wall Street crash. Unemployment in the United States is low, and that's a good thing. But what we are not talking about is, as you and I chat this morning, Stephanie, there are millions of people, some of whom are listening to this show, who are trying to survive on $8 or $9 an hour. There are elderly people who are trying to get by on $12,000, $13,000 a year Social Security. Meanwhile, 40% of all new income goes to the top 1%. And then you got an administration that hasn't said one word about raising the minimum wage. And Larry Kudlow, his economic advisor, came out and said, well, we think the federal minimum wage is a bad idea. Bad idea. So,
yep.
If you're a worker out there thinking about voting for Republican, ask yourselves why they have not made one step forward in raising the minimum wage. Many of them want to abolish the concept of the minimum wage. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. And Senator, you've studied enough history to have warned about, you tweeted specifically about Brazil, the far-right authoritarian who's praised dictatorship, referred to black activists as animals. You said it's very troubling John Bolton sees him as like-minded with Trump. I mean, I almost feel like this is a disease, this Trumpism that is spreading around the world, that it is up to America to stop tomorrow. Do you?
Right. And the difficulty is that when you have the most when you have the leader of the most powerful country on earth talking about semi-fascists like this guy in Brazil as like-minded, what kind of message does it send to people all over the world? Remember, not so many years ago, it was the United States of America that was seen as the beacon of hope, the country that fought for democracy, for human rights all over the world. And now you have a president who cozies up to Putin, who cozies up to the dictatorship in Saudi Arabia, to this new guy in Brazil. I'm just thinking right now about the men and women who put their lives on the line to defend American democracy, who died trying to defend American democracy. And now you have this guy who's moving us very consciously in an authoritarian direction.
Senator, we only have about another minute. I wish we had more. I know that I'm just so appreciative that you're out there doing what you're doing, because I think we know now that, of course, Russia micro-targeted your voters in those 3 swing states to either stay home or vote for Jill Stein. My feeling is that that's not happening now, that we're smart enough, that we see what's happening. You're out there speaking, whatever you'd call establishment Democrats are out there speaking, and we have progressives like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Andrew Gillum, and others within this party right now. And we have everybody from you to everybody else on the field.
Progress.
Yeah.
But let me mention to you something. I just saw this morning. In Michigan and in Arizona, I think it was, you got Republicans sending out flyers or whatever they're doing saying that I'm supporting the Green Party candidate, which is absolutely not true. I'm supporting Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan. So it goes on today.
Yeah, they can't run this play again on us. They can't, Senator. And part of it is because you're out there with your amazing voice and with all of your followers, and we're going to do this tomorrow, right?
All right, let's get out and vote. Let's have the highest voter turnout in midterm history. If we do that, we are going to do it tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Senator Sanders. Hope to hear from you again soon.
Okay, take care.
There you go. Senator Bernie Sanders, ladies and gentlemen. Stephanie Miller Show.